Alright guys, so today I'm gonna watch the sequel to the Nut Job Nutty by Nature. I don't like the first movie, but if I survived through the Emoji Movie, then I could survive through Nut Job 2. So I'm about to head in, and yeah, see you guys there.
No, Dad.
Can we try one without the punch?
Alright guys, so I just got back from watching the 5 p.m. Thursday night showing of the Nut Job 2 Nutty by Nature. And honestly, I had a really hard time just saying the word nut to the box office lady when I was trying to get my ticket to this movie. So this highly anticipated sequel to the 2014 movie The Nut Job, just to refresh your guys' mind. In the first movie, it was like a heist movie where we had, the animals that were trying to survive winter and they really had no food, so they go across the street to the nut store and they try to steal nuts. But then it appears that the people who owned the nut store were basically trying to do a crime and they got caught. So now nobody's running that nut shop. So in this movie, now they live in the nut shop, they're eating nuts and everything. And then it explodes, and then they really have nowhere else to stay but at the park till they find out that the mayor of that town actually wants to build a amusement park where they're living in. So basically he wants to clear out every animal that's living there. And of course the animals gotta save their park. See, I watched the very first Nut Job movie in theaters, and I didn't like it when I saw it in theaters. I saw it again earlier this week to watch the sequel, and I still think it's a pretty bad movie. I'd give it a D+, and I didn't really have any anticipation for this movie. But hey, I watched the Emoji Movie, and I now feel like I could do anything in this world. I saw this movie, and honestly, it's not that bad. In fact, it's one of those sequels that actually improve upon the first movie. And when you're making a sequel of a movie that was bad, then there's about a 20% chance that the movie is going to be good, and a 80% chance that the movie is going to be worse than the first movie. This movie falls in the 20%. I'm not saying it's a very good movie, but hey, improvement is pretty good, right? Yes, we've seen this story done multiple times before, just told in differently ways, and it kind of makes the movie predictable, but it doesn't stop itself from at least trying to have fun with itself. And the writing, it's whatever. At least there's not one fart joke I could count, unlike the first one, which had like 20 fart jokes per 5 minutes. There's a vomit joke, but it's okay. And there are a lot of jokes that just really fall flat, and a lot of jokes that actually kind of landed. See, as for the animation, for a movie that's made by an independent studio with a $40 million budget, I think that the animation's actually really solid. In fact, yes, it's pretty cartoony, but for a movie like this, it's pretty acceptable, and I think that the animation is actually pretty decent. Voice acting is actually also pretty solid. Will Arnett as Surly Squirrel. He was that douchebag in the first movie, but here he's more likable, so improvement once again. Katherine Heigl as what's her name, Andy. I like her character a lot in this movie. Maya Rudolph as what is she, a pug? I thought that she was also kind of funny sometimes. Bobby Cannavale as the pug's love interest, he was really good here. I didn't even know it was him, to be honest. And of course, Isabella Moner as the little girl, the daughter of the mayor. I didn't find her as annoying. I didn't even find her annoying as much as I thought she was going to be. Isabella Moner, I think that she's a good actress. She comes from Nickelodeon, and she was recently in Transformers The Last Night, which she was pretty good in that. And here, she's about 16 years old in real life, and here she plays like a 8-year-old girl, and she has to make her voice like a little bit more lower pitch. So I think she did a good job at doing that. And of course, the main reason why people are going to watch this movie, and the reason why I was sold onto watching this movie, Jackie Chan as the little mice that could do martial arts. Honestly, he was very misleading. He was like he was used in marketing in every single poster, every single trailer, and he's only in the movie for about 10 minutes. I thought he was going to be in the movie for like almost an hour, but it's only 10 minutes, so and for those 10 minutes he was actually pretty good, and I'm glad to hear his voice back, because the last time I've seen a movie from him in theaters was like Kung Fu Panda 3, and now he's going to be in Lego Ninjago. There's something about him voicing animated characters that know how to do martial arts. What I'm trying to say is that Jackie Chan was basically a marketing gimmick just to get people to see this movie. But even for him, yeah, he was pretty good. And this movie has heart. Heart is something that the first movie was really missing, and when it tried to put heart into the first movie, it was really forced. And here, it just goes along with the storyline, so it really works out well here. Now to the things that I didn't like about this movie. I already mentioned that Jackie Chan wasn't in this movie as much as he should have been, and that the writing, it could be meh, and that the jokes sometimes feel flat. This movie has a little too much storylines than what it could actually handle. Sometimes, when they're not focusing about the amusement park storyline, then it tries to give you, of course, the romance between the two dogs. Sometimes it wants to focus on the little girl, sometimes it wants to focus on Surly's best friend, sometimes it even wants to focus on how Surly has changed from the first to second movie, which I get its character development, but it kind of really tries to build its own storyline. Not only that, but the very predictable, relationship between Surly and Andy. Overall, in this movie, for everything that I liked, there's a thing that I didn't like. So it just kind of weighs out on each other. And, really, the characters are less annoying and they're more likable in this movie, so very good improvement. And the story in this movie is slightly stronger than it was in the first movie. It actually makes me wonder, in the first movie, Brendan Fraser actually voiced a squirrel, and in this sequel he is nowhere to be found, and he should be in this sequel because nothing happened to him in the end of the first movie. I guess he didn't come back for the sequel just because he knew that the first movie was bad. Like I said millions of times before, this is much, much better than the first Nutjob movie, and this is 1,000 times way better than the Emoji movie. At least I wasn't painfully sitting in my seat wanting to literally take out my eyeballs and just burn them. I was actually quite entertained by this movie, unlike the Emoji movie. But in my rating system, I'm gonna say that the Nutjob 2 Nutty by Nature is definitely a Netbox worthy, which you could Netflix it or Redbox it. That's why I'm gonna give the Nutjob 2 a C. This is just honestly a harmless animated film that gets away with being generic. And this is going to be your best option to watch an animated film, because you definitely don't want to watch the Emoji movie, unless you could wait till Lego Ninjago, which should at least be good. Even if you have to see this movie in theaters, go for a matinee. Anyways, I did not see Girls Trip like I told you in the beginning of the video that I would. I'll explain that in my next video. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Have you guys seen Nutjob 2 Nutty by Nature? If you guys seen it, what did you guys think about it? Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.